Hi, I'm Tom Gentile. By now, I'm sure you've heard about ChatGPT, the online AI chatbot that's blowing everyone's mind. Everyone swears how great it is, how it can do complicated research for you, book travel plans, write emails, even build your own business in less than 30 seconds. Here's what I want to know. If it's so great, can ChatGPT tell me where I can find triple-digit gains in the stock market right now? Well, let's try it out. I've already logged into the platform, so I'm just going to type it in. Give me the best stock to trade today for the biggest gains. Okay, here's what it says. As an AI language model, I cannot provide specific investment advice or make stock recommendations, etc., etc., etc. Sorry, folks. When it comes to picking stocks, looks like ChatGPT is not going to give you the answer you're looking for. Now, what if I told you there is an AI stock picking tool that will? I'm talking about a tool that'll spit out the best trades that you could make on any given day within a second. And the gains on these trades could blow almost any other trading strategy out the window. How do I know? Because I've been using this specific AI trading tool for over a year. And look at the results. It helped turn $5,000 into over $25,000 in just 12 months. Now that's a 500% overall return, unheard of in the investing world. And all it took was one click and 1 second to get the best trades for me to choose from. One click, 1 second. Let me show you how it works. When I asked this AI machine for the best stock to trade on January 10th, I got the answer within a second. Valero Energy. All I had to do was pick this trade and follow the instructions to maximize my profit. It's so easy, anybody can do it, even if you never bought a stock in your life. And look at this. Just 14 days later, this Valero trade delivered a 150% gain. A week later, the AI tool gave me Nucor, and I entered a trade on the same day. Just 9 days later, I was up 100%, enough to cash out the initial investment and let the rest of the trade ride risk-free. Over the following week, the second half of the trade went up over 200%. When I asked this AI tool on February 15th, it recommended Whirlpool. And in just 3 weeks, this Whirlpool trade made a 100% gain. Now, folks, these are not back-tested trades. They're real trades discovered in less than a second by this AI tool. And you're about to see for yourself how simple it is. Like I said, I've been using this AI tool for over a year. Time after time, I've selected winners from the trades that it delivered to me on a silver platter. Now, last October, it gave me PBF Energy. This trade made 121% in 22 days, enough to cash out the initial investment and let the rest ride risk-free. 3 weeks later, the rest of this trade went up to 147%. Then it showed me Target in December, which went up to 113% in just 4 days, more than enough to cash out the initial investment for a risk-free ride. Just over a week later, the rest of that trade went all the way up to 184%. Now in September, a trade on Ross stores went up 310%, and then to 360% just a few hours later. All I had to do to find these winners was make one click. A second later, it showed me the best trades to choose from that day. Again, one click, 1 second. So simple. So, why haven't you heard of this system yet? If AI is the biggest thing in the news right now, why is no one telling you that you can make 500% in a year with AI-generated trades? Truth is, because I built this system myself, and I have no interest in sharing it with the mainstream media. I have a different goal. You see, I'm not a trust fund kid from Manhattan. I actually grew up in a working class family in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And I dropped out of college because it just wasn't for me. Instead, I spent my whole adult life mastering the markets, and I made a name for myself doing it. For the past 30 years, I've made it my life's mission to help regular traders gain an edge against the rest of the market. In the early 1990s, I rigged an old laptop so it would receive real-time trading data straight from the trading floor of the American Stock Exchange. Remember, this was before smartphones. Even the internet itself was so new, most people couldn't afford it. This gave me a huge edge in the trading community. So I built a company around my trading invention and showed more than 300,000 people how to use it to beat the best traders in the world. I was so successful in teaching regular people how to trade that a Wall Street firm offered me $20 million for the company. Years later, I built a supercomputer so powerful it analyzed millions of points of complex data and discovered rare but lucrative trend patterns. It could comb through thousands of stocks and find patterns not seen by the naked eye, and pinpoint the best performing stocks in the market. Now, I shared these trades with tens of thousands of followers who had a chance to profit from my invention. I went as far as to file for a patent with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office to protect it. That's what you gotta do when you create something that's never existed before. But this new AI system I'm showing you today is the crown jewel of all of my creations. I call it TradeQDP. It's like ChatGPT, but built for trading. It was developed by some of the smartest people on the planet. And I'm not talking about myself here. Years ago, I hired a group of highly trained mathematicians, engineers, and a little rocket scientist to build a system that could mine huge amounts of data every minute of every day and identify the trades that have the highest chance of generating incredible gains. Over the last year, to make sure it worked as well as I knew it could, I let a small group of followers have access to the trades I selected from it. With just one trade a week, they had the chance to make an incredible 500% overall gain if they just followed all 57 of my trades, both winners and losers. Which means, if you put $1,000 into each trade, my system could have helped turn a $5,000 starting stake into over $25,000. A $10,000 stake would have been over $50,000. $50,000 to over $250,000. You get it. And it's all in just 1 year. So imagine what you could do in 2, 5, even 10 years. That's why I'm so excited to share with you this information today, so that you can take advantage of the system that helps me pinpoint potential triple-digit gains every single week, something that no other trading system I see out there can achieve. In fact, I've already selected a trade for this morning, and in a few minutes, I'm going to show you how you can put my system to the test. Get this new trade and every other TradeQDP recommendation for yourself. Any one of them have the potential for triple-digit gains in just a few days or a few weeks. Look, the bottom line is that right now, the whole new investing world is moving towards AI. In fact, more than 70% of Wall Street is already using AI to pick their trades. We're talking about trading firms that move millions, even billions of dollars on the market every single day. Even a slight edge can make them a fortune. Here's just a few. Remember IBM's famous Watson computer? Well, it's now fueling an AI-based ETF that's consistently outperformed the S&P 500. BlackRock, the largest investment firm in America, has also begun to replace its human traders with AI stock pickers. BlackRock's CEO put it bluntly: the old way of people sitting in a room picking stocks thinking they are smarter than the next guy, that does not exist anymore. So there's no doubt AI is going to completely take over trading. But until today, the best AI trading tools were off limits to regular traders. Unless you had $1 million to invest and had access to Wall Street quant funds like BlackRock, AI trading has been off limits to you. I'm changing that right here, right now. I built TradeQDP to be for the everyday trader, not the Wall Street elite. In fact, I instructed my team to make this system so easy that anyone could use it. Sure enough, after a number of beta tests, we launched TradeQDP with a small group of dedicated traders from across the country. They weren't professionals, not even by a long shot. Some of them didn't even have a brokerage account yet. But all they had to do was follow my detailed instructions based on trades I selected from TradeQDP that day. On April 28th, 2022, we went live. I asked TradeQDP for the best trades for that day, and this is the one that I picked: GameStop. Now, some people would have laughed at this trade. GameStop had already become the most famous meme stock in the world. Would this trade really lead to the gains they were looking for? By April 2022, most traders would have said GameStop was a joke. Well, joke was on them, because I built TradeQDP to give me the absolute best opportunities to make money, period. I don't care about people's opinions. And look what happened. The trade went up 100%, and 11 days later, we cashed out half. So in less than 2 weeks, we got back our original investment. And we let the other half run at zero risk to what we put in. Whatever we made on the second half of the trade was essentially free money. And on GameStop, we sold the other half a week later for a gain of 142%. Now that's enough to turn $5,000 into over $11,000 in less than 3 weeks. It's funny, most traders thought GameStop was garbage because of its image as a meme stock. But they were thinking like humans. TradeQDP thinks differently. It uses millions of data points to determine which stock would make the best gain in a short period of time. No judgment, no opinions, just cold, hard data. We're talking numbers here that are hard to imagine. On any given day, almost 40 million shares are traded in the stock market. How on earth are you supposed to find the one winning trade out of all of these possibilities? With TradeQDP, you don't have to, because it's analyzing all this data for me. My AI tool runs on huge amounts of computational power. We're talking terabytes. Unbelievable amounts of data this system runs through in order to find the real gems in the market. Then it spits out only a handful of the absolute best trades on any given day. These trades could be in any sector: big tech, energy, retail, manufacturing, financial services, you name it. When the markets are calm, it might only generate 2 or 3 trades for me to choose from. But when a new big market trend emerges, it can spit out 10 trades or more. All I have to do is use my experience to pick the best one and go for it. After GameStop, things move quickly. I asked TradeQDP for the best trades on May 2nd, and here's what popped up. TripAdvisor. We entered a trade and made 76% on the first half of TripAdvisor in just 4 days. Then we cashed out on the rest of the position with a 126% gain just 4 days after that. It went on like that for weeks. 107% gain in 17 days on the first half of a marathon oil trade, and an incredible 373% on the second half just 5 days later. 147% on the first half of our trade on Ross stores in 9 days. Then we cashed out the rest with a 162% gain, and on and on and on. After just 1 month, we had completed a string of 7 winners, 4 of which were triple-digit gains, and an additional 2 were up 94%. Now, of course, no trading system works perfectly, and I don't want to tell you that TradeQDP does. The market sometimes behaves erratically, and in every trading system, there is an element of unpredictability, even for AI. And that's why it's crucial to have a set of robust anti-risk rules in place. For example, you'll notice that I continually cash out half of our position when it's reached a 100% gain. That's because I want to secure a profit on our initial investment and let the rest of the position ride as high as possible at virtually zero risk. Sometimes a trade will go sideways, sometimes it'll go to zero. But because our initial investment is already off the table, we don't actually lose anything on many of these trades. Take Pinterest. We were able to cash out our initial investment after just a little over 2 weeks. When the rest of the trade went south a week later, it was disappointing. Of course, we would have preferred to cash out for another gain, but we didn't lose any money. In fact, we still made a profit overall. Same with Overstock a month later. We cashed out our initial investment the same day that we entered the trade. When the rest of the position went to zero a few weeks later, we didn't lose anything. How great is that? Here's another. It's a trade on Teladoc that the system found last August. We cashed out half of this trade at 100% almost 2 weeks later. The rest of our trade went up to 164% before we cashed out 10 days later. Or take Universal Display Corp., a trade we made last September. We took our first double in just 11 days. And then we took out an incredible 338% on the second half just 10 days later. Again, in September, TradeQDP told us to enter a trade on Alibaba. We took a double on half of this trade in just 4 days. Then we took a 217% gain 3 weeks later on the rest of our position. In October, we entered a trade on PBF. Within 3 weeks, it went up 121% before we pulled the trigger on the first half, and the rest went up to almost 150% over the coming 3 weeks. Again in October, the name Valero Energy popped up on TradeQDP. 100% cash out in just 9 days. And then we cashed out on the rest of the position just 8 days later at 189% gain. This is how easy TradeQDP is. All it takes is one click, 1 second, and it spits out the best trades for me to choose from that day. But the point is not just to find the best move with TradeQDP, is to know exactly when to enter the trade. All I had to do to get the perfect time in that Valero trade was to run TradeQDP. Wait 1 second for it to show me the best trades for that day, and pick one. Now, Valero didn't come up by accident. TradeQDP actually showed me a trade on one of the largest energy companies in the world during a major gas price hike. Of course, any diligent trader could have found that trade if they paid attention to the news. But the whole point of AI is to do all of that work for you. Let me tell you, that's a big deal in the trading world. I spent decades studying, learning, and trading every pattern in the book. I'm talking cup and handle formations, moving averages, Bollinger Bands, the list goes on and on and on. You name it, I've traded it. And I've made some really good money over the years. But with every technique, there was a ton of legwork. I had to look at hundreds of charts, pore over company financials, lay over multiple patterns to make sure I correctly identified the trend. It could take hours, even days, to find just one decent trade. Now compare that to today's high-frequency trading. It was like riding a horse and buggy. Trades now can be made in real time, and anyone with an internet connection has access to publicly available company data and chart analysis tools. But you still have to pore over this data manually, and that can take a long time even for the most experienced trader. Did you know, by the way, that there are 1,000 indicators you could use to identify winning trades? Funny thing is, at any given time, half of them will tell you the stock's going to go up, and the other half of them will tell you the stock's going to go down. So which half do you believe? That's exactly what TradeQDP figures out every day. You see, I calibrated it to comb through thousands of publicly traded stocks and find the ones that are about to enter peak acceleration, or what I like to call Mach-M. Now, Mach-M is activated when a stock is about to take off like a rocket. In engineering, Mach is the way to measure speed that's faster than sound. For TradeQDP, it measures the speed in which stocks move in the markets. So if a trade is expected to accelerate in one direction, Mach-M is activated. And that's when TradeQDP delivers me a list of these trades. Now, we're not talking about little price movement either. These trades the system uncovers aren't expected to just go up by 5 or 10%. As you've seen, these trades often return upwards of 100, 200% or more. Decades ago, traders were still in horse and buggy territory. Now we've reached the speed of space rockets in trading. TradeQDP specifically looks at two price movements. When they collide, it triggers an instant price acceleration. Take Darling Ingredients. Darling turns trash into usable products. Think of it as an advanced recycler and producer of renewable energy. But honestly, I don't care what they do. All that TradeQDP needs to know is whether the company is about to show a sudden price acceleration. And on November 22nd, that's what Darling Ingredients provided. Look at this chart of Darling's stock price over the last month before. Below the chart, you see two lines moving to the right. The bottom line is the short-term price accelerator, and the top line is the long-term price accelerator. When both of these lines collide, like we see right here, Mach-M activates and TradeQDP delivers. It's like a rocket that boosts to ridiculous levels. So we entered the trade the same day, and look what happened. we cashed out with a 101% gain in just 9 days to secure our profit on the initial investment. And then we rode the other half to 184% gain just 6 days later, at no risk. This is the power of Mach-M. Let's take a look at another example. On December 5th, TradeQDP alerted me to target. Look at the lines moving at the bottom of the chart. That's the short-term accelerator and the long-term accelerator. And then boom, Mach-M is activated. We enter the trade, and look what happened. 113% just 4 days on the first half, and then 184% profit on the second half of the trade. On December 8th, TradeQDP detects a trade in manufacturing giant 3M. The price accelerator lines cross, and boom, Mach-M activated. 1 week later, we secure our initial investment with 105% gain on the first half of the trade, and then we cashed out of the rest of the position with a 30% gain. That's the beauty behind Mach-M. It identifies trades that have the real potential to make triple-digit gains within days. All I do is hit the button, and TradeQDP analyzes thousands of trades to find the ones where Mach-M is activated for me to choose from within just 1 second. Like I said, I built this system to find the best trades based on way more data than I or any other human could ever analyze. Even if I lived for 500 years, I wouldn't have enough time to go through all that data. And by then, it would hopelessly be outdated anyway. That's why AI trading will eventually become inevitable. If you don't jump on the bandwagon of AI, you'll be competing with traders who have access to way more information than you. Not because they have someone on the inside or special skills, but only because they're using a machine like TradeQDP to pour through the data way faster than any human could ever do. And the earlier you start using AI, the longer you can enjoy having the edge, the alpha of the market. Remember, I tested out TradeQDP for an entire year with a group of everyday people. Some of them never traded a stock in their life. And we didn't go a single month without at least one triple-digit gain. In January, TradeQDP handed us another winning streak. Look at the price accelerator lines on this Valero chart. On January 10th, the two lines crossed. Mach-M was activated, and a little over a week later, we cashed out of half the position for 102% gain. Then, we banked a 135% profit on the rest of the position a week after that. Same with Nucor that same month. TradeQDP detected Mach-M on January 17th. 9 days later, we cashed out of the first half with a 100% gain. 2 weeks after that, we cashed out of the other half for a 57% gain. On February 28th, TradeQDP discovered Mach-M on a trade on WEC Energy. We hit that one out of the park. It went up 100% in just 2 weeks, and then shot up to almost 180% in just 11 more days. In February alone, we saw partial gains of 101% in 7 days, 127% in 9 days, 166% in 3 weeks, 78% in a month, 100% in 2 weeks, and 178% in 3 weeks. Now, we all know there's nothing guaranteed in trading and there's always risk. Never bet more than you can afford to lose. But are these the kinds of profits you're already seeing in your portfolio? If that's the case, then you can stop listening to me right now because you don't need TradeQDP. But my guess is you could use TradeQDP's recommendations in your portfolio. Even after 30 years as a professional trader, I've rarely seen so many triple-digit gains in less than a year. Now, of course, I don't use every trade that TradeQDP gives me on any given day. I promise you, TradeQDP is not offended. Like I said, sometimes the system shows me as many as 10 or more trades that I can make that day. But I don't want to do a new trade every day. For our test group, I followed one basic rule because I wanted to make sure everyone, no matter how much or how little money they had in their brokerage accounts, could follow TradeQDP. We only executed one trade a week. How do I know which one's the best? Here's where my 3 decades of market experience come into play to choose the best one from TradeQDP's list each week. Over the past year, I recommended 57 of the trades that popped up on TradeQDP, and 37 of them were double or triple digit winners. Overall, winners and losers combined, we multiplied our money with TradeQDP by 6x in just 1 year. And we never held more than 5 open positions at the same time. You could have turned just $5,000 into more than $25,000, enough to buy a new car. And you only had to put $1,000 into each of these trades, winners and losers. If you'd started with $10,000, you could have made enough money to put a down payment on a beach house. Can you imagine what TradeQDP can do if we already quintupled our money in just 1 year? What can this system do in 2 years, or 5, or even 10? Well, I haven't even told you the most exciting part yet. TradeQDP is so incredible, it doesn't just give me the best stock to play, it tells me how to supercharge my gains with options. In fact, it helps me choose the absolute best option trade that you can make on each of its recommendations. That's how I targeted gains like 100% or more in just days. Now, you could trade the stock or use the options trade. It's completely up to you. I prefer to trade options. The reason is simple. They're cheap, they can make triple-digit gains rather quickly, and they can make money on rising as well as falling stocks. For example, on March 27th, TradeQDP showed me that Mach-M was activated on Elf Beauty. The stock was about to soar. Now, you could have just bought a few of the company's shares for almost $80 a share that day. 3 weeks later, you could have cashed out at $96 a share for a 21% gain. Not a bad profit. But here's what would have happened if you traded options on Elf Beauty instead. And remember, TradeQDP can help me find the best options trade in any given stock it finds. Because an option gives you the right to buy shares at a certain price, you could have bought control over that same stock for just $1.50 a share. Just 4 days later, the trade already shot up 100%, which is when I cashed out the first half to secure my investment following my anti-risk rule. The rest of the trade went all the way up to 230% at virtually zero risk. It gave me a total gain of 165%, while the stock would have returned only 21% profit. See, that's why trading options is a no-brainer for me. And as my test group can tell you, trading options is way easier than it seems. In fact, here's how some of the happiest traders in my group describe their experience over the past year. John says, 150% in 1 week. QDP is a money machine. Thank you, Tom. Edward says he made 130% in 9 days. Catherine told me she made some excellent profits on FIS in 5 days. Our trade on Westlake went up quickly. Daniel said he made 100% gain on WLK in 4 days. And Vikram told me about his partial 70% gain on WLK in 1 day. Sally made 100% in 9 days. And James said that my system is amazing. Had my best month ever. Now, I appreciate everyone who's writing in, but you don't need to thank me. Thank TradeQDP. You just saw the potential behind this AI technology. In just the first year of our experiment, we quintupled our initial investment if my followers made every trade, a 500% overall gain. And I don't expect this performance to slow down anytime soon. I've designed TradeQDP to accomplish in 1 second what would take regular traders weeks to figure out. Right now, this is new technology. But soon, every trader in the world will be using some form of AI to gain an edge. Of course, by then, it's not going to be an edge anymore because most people will have access to it. If you're in the markets to make money, and let's face it, who isn't, you should use every advantage you can get, which is why today I want to give you access to TradeQDP and the kind of gains I just showed you. It's yours when you join me in a research trading service I created called Quantum Data Profits. Every single subscriber of Quantum Data Profits receives weekly trades that I select based on the best recommendations that TradeQDP generates. All you have to do is follow the instructions in my alert and execute the trade. I'll go even further. as soon as it's time to take profits. Whether we're cashing out of our initial investment for a free ride or for the full profit, I'll send you another alert with instructions on taking the gains. And today, I want you to join this group and make the same type of trades you just saw. The ones that made 500% overall profit on 57 trades over the past year. That's about one trade a week, which is exactly perfect because it means you could target 500% overall gains with just a single trade a week. A trade that doesn't take more than a few minutes to enter into your brokerage account, and you have the rest of the week to enjoy your lives and your families. That's a pretty great deal, isn't it? And Quantum Data Profits offers you exactly that. I'll send you a new trade every week. You just have to execute it in your account and wait for my alert to cash out. That's it. Here's how it works. The first thing you're going to get is a brand new opportunity I selected from what TradeQDP spit out today. Mach-M has already been activated on this trade, and I believe this option could soar for triple-digit gains within the next few weeks or even days. I'll give you a link with full instructions to execute this trade as soon as you join me, and that's just the beginning. Every member of Quantum Data Profits doesn't just have access to a weekly trade. Remember, my life's work and passion is to create a group of successful traders. So my team and I put together a whole host of resources to help you gain an edge in the markets. We want to make sure that everyone, no matter how much or how little experience they have, can understand and execute these trades like a pro. And I'm going to be by your side along with the rest of the group helping you make these trades every step of the way. Now, as part of your membership, you'll receive a brand new AI-generated trade I selected delivered to your inbox every week. All you have to do is check your inbox and execute the trade with the comprehensive information you'll get in the weekly trade briefing. And if you want to make sure you don't miss a single entry and exit point, I urge you to sign up for dedicated text alerts. You can activate this service with a single button on your membership site. Now, like I said, I'm not here just to send you an alert and leave you on your own. Every week, we'll meet up in my live trading room to discuss our trades. You can watch me or expert members of my team dissect our moves, discuss our strategies, and plan for capturing the biggest profits. You can talk to fellow members in the live chat and share ideas. You'll also have the chance to ask any questions you have about TradeQDP and the trading rules that we follow. Keep in mind that we cannot give you personalized trading advice though. But even if you miss one of these live meetings, don't worry. I'm sending out a weekly debrief with a summary of what we discussed during the live session and full updates on the active trades we made. But that's not all. If you join this group today, you'll have access to one of the most comprehensive trading education packages out there. As soon as you join, I'm going to send you my quick start guide. This short briefing will help you hit the ground running in just a few minutes with a quick overview of TradeQDP's trading principles and a summary of your anti-risk rules. Next, I want to make sure you're completely up to speed and can hit the ground running. So I'm going to send you my crash course video. That'll give you an up-close and personal tour through my AI system. You can look over my shoulder as I demonstrate how this works. If you have a few minutes available, I urge you to watch this video before you get started. Plus, I created a comprehensive trading course I call the Millionaire Trader Bootcamp. It's an interactive video training on the trading strategy behind TradeQDP, and it's free with your membership. You'll be able to increase your trading skills and track your progress within the training site. And this might be the best benefit. Every hunter needs a tribe, so I want you to join other TradeQDP members as they start this AI journey with you, or learn from more experienced AI traders in the Quantum Profits Network. This 24/7 chat room is the best place to connect with your fellow TradeQDP members. Learn, ask questions, troubleshoot, and celebrate your successes. As you can see, Quantum Data Profits isn't just a simple trading alert service. This training package alone will accelerate your trading skills no matter how much experience you have. And of course, every week you'll get AI-generated trades I've selected that have given my followers a shot at 500% total gains in the last year. Well, let me ask you, what do you think a hedge fund returns in a single year on average? It's a lot lower than you might think. Even the best performing hedge fund on Wall Street only had a total return of 43% last year. And that's the best one. Wealthy people spend a fortune to get into one of these hedge funds, and yet all they can hope for is less than 50% a year. Can you imagine what's possible with an annual return of 500%? It could be life-changing. I think this comprehensive package is easily worth tens of thousands of dollars. Remember, the only way to get AI-generated trades right now is through a major hedge fund like BlackRock. And the minimum initial investment at hedge funds right now that are that size are between $100,000 to $2 million. But like I said, I want to make sure that as many regular traders as possible can have a taste of this incredible AI trading machine. So I won't charge anywhere near what hedge funds are asking for. In fact, I'm going to make this very affordable for everyone. It's probably less than what you'd expect. I just want to make sure that we cover our cost and that regular traders like you have the chance to get an edge in the market. If you want to be part of a group that's made 500% total account gains, a group of traders that trade side by side with me, and a group with a chance to target huge profits in these crazy topsy-turvy markets, then join us at Quantum Data Profits today. As soon as you come aboard, I'll send you instructions to access my next option trade. It could deliver you the kind of big gains like I've showed you today. Plus, you're not just getting access to the most powerful AI trading machine in the market today and a whole slew of new trading tools to help make you a more skilled trader, but you'll join a community of like-minded traders who want to help each other make more money and celebrate our successes together. It's an experience money can't buy, but it could potentially turn $5,000 into $25,000 like TradeQDP generated over the last year on all 57 of my trades. I can't wait to see what it can do this year. So let's do this together. I'm Tom Gentile, and thank you for watching today.